Welcome to Gran Canaria, one of the fortresses of European basketball, and you can see Gran Canaria in that shot there, and that team doesn't lose at home. This court is literally a fortress, and the visitors tonight in one of the first heavyweight clashes of the Eurocup this year, and you can see them there in the red and black, Rytas from Vilnius. And that team we saw last week here on Eurosport 2 come up with a tremendous performance to get the win against Villebron. And here is the lineup for Gran Canaria. With me tonight, as always, is Martin Henlon. Big name there for some British fans there with Joel Freeland, the 208 centre. Did a great job in the summer for Great Britain. Yeah, Joel is one of the hot topics, not only for Great Britain, but also for the whole summer. He's had a great season. He's had a great start to the year, but he's got his hands full tonight. They've got a big front line here. Milko Bjelica and Milisavic both gave a whole heap of trouble last week. And you saw there the quick flash of the starting lineups. Joel Freeland, as per normal in this Europe Cup, gets a starting spot, and Gran Canaria at home looking for the win. Just about to start game 2 of the Europe Cup. Gran Canaria in the yellow at home, and as I mentioned earlier on, one of the fortresses of European basketball. This team 9-2 in the ACP, does not lose at home. Martin, what can Rytas do to try and change that? Well, it's a real tough environment, and a lot of it is down to geography and climate. You're going to play in an island environment. Gran Canaria, it's not a small island, but it is very much you've got the atmosphere that makes it almost much more difficult for the opposition to breathe in there. I know I played in an island environment, playing in Crete when I was in Greece, and we were the same. We were 14-1 at home, and beating Olympiacos and all sorts. This is a very difficult place to come in and play. If Rytas want to be successful and win, they've got to slow the game down, which goes against the way they play, and they've got to make sure they make the most of every defensive stop. So offensive rebounds, they are a no-no tonight. Going to Freeland in the block, baseline spin, looks a little reverse, up and under, there's no good. Chance for Rytas to run. This is where this team is dangerous, getting down the floor, getting things early like that from Milisavic, and knocks down the 2. You just got to pick these guys up early, or they just stop and score. Yeah, you've got to pick them up early, Mark, but the challenge for them will be sustaining this throughout 40 minutes. And in the half court, Gran Canaria picking it up early, but Josh Fisher gives it back. Marcus Norris, the veteran, goes inside to Freeland, and he gets the 2. That's where this guy operates. He's really done a good job of working on his body. He's very strong on the inside, goes up, gets the 2. 2 early here in Gran Canaria. Milisavic guarded full court, and it's a turnover. Good still, Augustine to the hoop, and throws it down. James Augustine, what a profile that's guy's got, and what, again, an indication of the level of player in this competition. Yeah, another guy, NBA history behind him, 6'10", athletic, get there for the steal, and you see in the fast break scenario, it'd be very difficult for the Rytas guys to stop him. Petrovicas does what he does best, gets in deep, and that's the easy 2, ties it at 4 apiece. Going inside, Freeland in the block. Now Joe's got to move that ball on quickly. If you can't do something quickly in the post, you've got to get the ball shifted off. And then Moran's off with a 3. Interesting makeup to this Gran Canaria team, Mark. You've got guys that individually you wouldn't necessarily bet your mortgage on, but they've got a nice collective. They're a good group together. It's a moderate range budget team in terms of ACB, but as you say, it's very successful at home, and will always be there and thereabouts, and a handful in their home fortress. Wow, Jim Moran gets his second look from the 3-point line, and nails that one, gives the hometown team the 7-6 lead. Milisavic guarded. Again up the floor by Marcus Norris. Nice pressure from Norris on the perimeter, got a foul on the inside. Looks like they're going to call Freeland for the... Freeland's put some bulk on, but he hasn't got anywhere near the sort of size and body strength that Petravitus has already got. Petravitus a lot more experience, gets himself deep in the keyway. Edson on the dribble, gets them to the hoop, gets the easy 2. And there's Bilic showing again what he does best. Came up with 16 points last week. Nice penetration to the far side of the hoop. Gets the easy two.
And Mark, tonight's going to be an interesting challenge here to see Gran Canaria so efficient and so effective at home against Rytas, who every year we acknowledge as one of the favourites for this Eurocup competition. So you know, you see that as Lukasz tries to extend his defense there. Is it the skill of Rytas will win out versus the home court advantage that Gran Canaria obviously have?
Moran almost looked for the looked to get the shot away early, just fumbled it on the way up. Fortunately for them, they get a 24-second reset as it came off Lukauskas' foot.
Lukauskas yet to start, and we know last week he got off to a massive game, 23 points. He hasn't even shot the ball at the first touch of the foul.
That's a blocking foul. It's a nice move. It's the second time in Joel Freeland looks to do that in the post against Milko Bilic. And Bilic has his hands full really, because he's size-wise he's the same, but he gives a little bit up in strength.
Yeah, Bilic, so you see him there trying to bump against Joel. And the thing that people who don't know much about Joel Freeland's story, who don't recognise, is he came to the sport very late, and the advantage being, one, he's not been burnt out after 10 years of coaching, but also he hasn't had time to learn any bad habits. So it's like a blank canvas. All these skills he's had, high standard, high proficiency coaching from day one, and that's why he's turned into the very successful player he is very quickly. Great screen there.
Trying to post up on the inside. Nice ball reversal here by Gran Canaria. Nice extra pass. Norris for the three. Comes up short. Working on the inside. We've got a foul on Zavakas, and Zavakas gets the foul. Good work on the offensive ball by Gran Canaria, and I can't let Martin's stuff go by there without a bigging up Coach Jimmy Guyman down there in Solent with the work he did with Joel Freeland when he was a real young man, and obviously the work that Gran Canaria have done with the young man since he's been in Spain. But Freeland takes the inbound pass, and they'll reset in the half.
Joel there has got the discipline to recognise that this isn't what I do. Give the ball to the point guard, set it up. These are things that he's been taught. He hasn't, you know, younger guys would have come in and said, right, no, I've got to go straight one-on-one. But look at that, reset, and then comes up the nice low-to-low screen, and he's got that great fundamental left and right-hand baby jump hook.
There's Rytas again. They can't let Lukauskas get going. He strokes the three, comes off. Gran Canaria take it off each other. It will be a Rytas basketball on the baseline. And James Augustine and Joel Freeland combined, took it off each other there. There's the two of them on the boards, and it will be a Rytas ball. Milisajevic sets, pulls it out, starts again, calls the play. Rytas will spread the floor. Everybody outside the three-point line, apart from the one guy on the inside going in. Zavakas puts it on the floor. Good first step. Great challenge there. Got a whistle though. Late call on the by the official. Probably correct.
Yeah, it looked like it was a foul all the way on that one, Mark. And I was just about to say, good defensive stand by Gran Canaria at the outset, trusting in their solid man-to-man defense, but Joel there, you know, Augustine let his man beat him. That's a foul.
That's a foul in anybody's book. I don't know why the referee had to wait so long to call it.
Well, it was a slow call, but also the other thing you've got is that Joel's weak spot at the moment is he is susceptible to fouls, but it's nice to have Savane coming off the bench.
The normal starter for Gran Canaria in the ACB. Stepa Savane as he steps in. Looks a little bit undersized, but how effective has this guy been over his career?
He may look like he is only 2 meters 167, but he's a horse. He's rock strong. He's got a great athleticism, great court awareness as well. I'm fortunate enough to play against him a few years ago, and I just had a real handful. It wasn't that he was going to get 30 points, but he was so efficient and so tough to handle. As is that guy there, Augustine. Talk about a handful in the low post.
Well, they just he got so deep. There was no defensive answer to that. 11-10 Gran Canaria in the game we hope to see. Looks like we're going to get one here. Rytas, Chaketson himself hasn't got going yet. Penetrates, kick. Milisajevic from the corner for three. That's long, but a good job on the boards there by Zavakas. Comes up with the offensive rebound. Lukauskas will set, gives it back to Milisajevic. Gets the high post pick here. Sakauskas goes to the basket. Petrovikas high post. Didn't even look low. A bit surprising there. Zavakis thinks about the three. Good defense by Gran Canaria that time. Good rotation and good pressure on the basketball.
Rytas trying to spread the floor, trying to get the defense moving. A lot of pick and roll. Didn't move the ball particularly well that time. Whereas at the other end, you got Gran Canaria just trying to operate at their normal sets, and they've been really successful that time. Marcus Norris covering up the pick and roll and nailing a nice jump shot.
Yeah, both teams are good in the open floor. This could be a real high-scoring night if these teams just come to play. Edson guarded. And the crowd, knowledgeable crowd here, want the foul. There's a reach. That's not going to please the man who's got the expensive seat at the front there. He's trying to referee the game.
Yeah, well, he said, I've paid my fare. I get to open my mouth. And it was a good call by the referee. You see he's animated here, obviously believing, but there, the body, Moran, tough matchup for him to guard Chuck Edson. It's such a versatile play. You got to take the jumper away, but you can't let him drive, and you got to be careful who he passes to.
Well,
that's an ugly one, but they all count for two.
He's in the groove at the moment, scoring-wise, Lukauskas. Mindaugas Lukauskas, 23 points, game 1. Gets himself on the scoreboard, game 2. Augustine with a high post screen. Norris wants it again on the other side. Pulls up for the three. Way short, but Augustine just rolled and throws it down. James Augustine, good execution off the pick and roll. Gets the dunk off the offensive rebound. That makes it 15-12 with just under 4 minutes in the first quarter to go. Lukauskas shot challenge. Zavakis finds Luka. He's going to shoot that one. From three is long. They can't give him too many sights of the basket, though.
Yeah, but that's good rotation on the defense. Savani waits until he was into the motion to shoot before he challenged it. He didn't get his defense in trouble by encouraging him to drive.
Good lead pass on the break. Moran gets the foul. Lukauskas saw Petrovicas. Probably Petrovicas hadn't got back after the play before, but good awareness. Gets it down the floor, and Petrovicas will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Well, Augustine gambled there. He stepped out to the wing on the defending the break, which he gave up the space on the basket. Petrovicas just slashed to the cup, got the ball and drew the foul. Good opening stanza, if you like, and yeah, it's a tough one to call. I said to you today that I think that Gran Canaria should be able to win this, and I think they're going to cover the point spread, but Rytas has certainly proven that they are a quality outfit, which we already knew. So I think we're in for a bit of an interesting night here, Mark.
Well, the thing for Gran Canaria is now they have most of the starting lineup. They normally play week in, week out with the ACB because Carl English and Melvin Sanders are in the game. Last week, they were their big scorers in the loss that they had in overtime, 28 and 20 points respectively. So normally going to the bench might not get that points production, but these two guys are real quality.
Yeah, but they're a deep team, aren't they, Gran Canaria? And through necessity as well. But I mean, I've been really impressed so far with the beginning play. This guy here, James Augustine. He missed that tough shot there, fadeaway jumper, but left-handed, great cross-court pass.
Well, Savan has come up with 2 offensive rebounds back-to-back. He's just such a live wire.
And Mark, those things, yeah, you know, he gets offensive rebound, but watch the screens he sets. He gets his teammates open. He does good things, gets to the right place on the floor. And this is what you can't add value like that without seeing it reflected in the one loss column, and that there, Mel Sanders making the deep jumper. But credit Savani for keeping the offense flowing.
They passed up a number of close ones to get Sanders the 3 deep on the shot clock. Nice little pass, nice cut. And that guy, Edson, going to the basket, has so many ways to hurt you. And he makes it an 18-15 game here with Gran Canaria just having their nose in front with a 3-point lead. Augustine again finds himself open. Nice cut off the basketball. Beautifully found by Sanders on the penetration. And Augustine will go to the free throw line. Sanders, what an impact he's had straight off the bench.
Well, coming in, he showed what he does well, which is deep 3-point shots. You know, Norris there is a very solid point guard. He's always looking to dump off to the big man under the basket. He's got Freeland at the beginning of the game. That time, getting Augustine, who saw the foul coming and was watching the defender instead of looking at the backboard and making it a 3-point play. do like the way that the Gran Canaria are approaching this game. It's in a very professional manner, you know. And don't forget other thing, that the difference between this and Rytas. This game here, 9:30 in the evening start. They play the games late at night. The atmosphere's dropped down. It's humid. It's hot. Tough place to come and play.
Well, during this timeout, though, even though we're saying that about Rytas, they're 3 down, early. They've established themselves in the game. We often talk about trying to limit the points that Gran Canaria, the home team, have. Yeah. And obviously, the worrying thing that Rytas have, while they've scored 15, they've let Gran Canaria get 18 early in the game. Well,
what they established when we saw them last week against Asvel was a solid defensive rhythm, if you like, and they've not got that here. Gran Canaria getting the shots that they want. Okay, they've made some tough jumpers. You still got to put the ball in the basket, but they're getting the shots that they're setting out to achieve. So there's no impact really by the defense of Rytas, which would be worrying for me if I'm on the Lithuanian side of the bench.
Well, they're getting broken down on the penetration, aren't they? Not necessarily for points themselves, but they're having to get into help situations and having to react in a way they don't want to as a defensive team.
That's controlling the point guard. You know, it's Norris is not going to. Well, maybe he will pull up and shoot a bunch of deep jumpers, but it's more important at this stage of the game to protect the basket. And you're right, take away that penetration. And they've gone this further deep into their bench with Gran Canaria now. So as Norris sits down, let's see if Rytas can up the pressure on the point guard and prevent the penetration.
Well, number 34, Mario Fernandez, Super Mario, as he's known here in Gran Canaria, is a bit of a crowd favorite. And he's just, again, one of these players, he can come in and do an excellent job off the bench. And Lukauskas is fouled on the penetration. I'd like to see Rytas really push the ball hard and see if they can get that early shot going. But good recognition, a little bit of sleepiness there on the defensive end. No one came across to help, and English gets a little bit isolated. And he fouls Lukauskas as he goes to the free throw line.
But English needs to be able to keep his man in front of him that far away from the basket. Is he reaching in, leaning on his toes, you know, whatever the reason. Also, the other thing is, you got to talk. You can't presume that your teammates are watching you. They may be looking somewhere else. So shout, help, help.
Well, Mindaugas Lukauskas picks up 2 more, and it's still a 3-point margin. Fernandez guarded at the point. That's a little bit better, but English comes off that pick. He's going to turn that one over. A little bit of a grab as he almost loosed it. They're going to get an open shot here if they just look after the basketball. Good scramble by Rytas coming out of it, but the open 3.
Wow, Mark, I question open. That hand hanging in his face. Just great patient execution. You can see that's what comes of playing the game on the floor. You practice on twice a day, every day. Solid performance here by Gran Canaria. 23 points, and we've still got a minute and a half left in the first quarter.
Well, I tell you something, Martin, for the fact this is just game 2 of this Eurocup, there's some defense being played by Gran Canaria. A lot of energy that time. Nice look by Fernandez, just over passes. And Augustine down the floor. You still got to, they're trying to turn that defense into points.
They're turning the defense into point. They're being aggressive, trying to keep the tempo up. But just to put it into perspective here, Gran Canaria played last week against Mariupol in the game. They lost by 2 points. 10 players played more than 10 minutes. That means they use their bench. They want to run and gun up-tempo style. Rytas in the blowout had fewer guys in double-digit minutes, so they may not be able to handle this pace. So, again, tempo, rhythm, crucial to the outcome of this game.
Edson, pretty down the middle by Chuck Edson.
He's like a slow, very slow Pete Maravich. You know, he's got all the jigs and the turns, but it's almost in slow motion, that little scoop he just pulled off then.
Open 3 is long. Daniel Kickart joins the game, and it's the quality again. I think he's the 9th guy in the game, and he's an Australian international. Nice pull-up 2, and Rytas starting to get that rhythm going offensively. Free-flowing, high-scoring first quarter here in Gran Canaria, 23-21 in the last minute, 30 seconds to go. And we got a foul there as English went to the basket.
And what's apparent about this Gran Canaria team? We've seen Mel Sanders shoot some deep threes already, but they are very good at finding shots that the players are comfortable shooting. That time you saw Carl English getting in for the jump shot off the glass. You had Joel Freeland earlier on in the game getting these little jump hooks. Augustine trying to operate in the low post. Nobody operates outside their comfort zone. Savane, you talk about him turning down open shots. Well, he can't shoot. Every shot he gets, he's going to turn. He turned over a wide open layup. Yeah, but that's okay. It's a well-drilled team, well-coached, and very effective, and that's result is measured in the offensive output. Defensively, though, they've got to recognize that this Rytas team, not one you can go to sleep on.
Well, but Rytas at the point now, gets it back. Looking to come away again with screens away from the basketball. Edson is fouled and doesn't get the drop, and he was just bodied to the floor. And Daniel Kicker will pick up his first foul. Kicker spent some time in the Australian Institute of Sport, man. We saw the Australian juniors last year in the World Championship. That's a production line of talent too.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at his biography. You see, in Australian Institute of Sport, so a homegrown player, sent off 18 years, goes to St. Mary's College for a couple of years. Then all of a sudden he's off. He's playing in Italy, and now he's playing in Spain. You know, that's the sort of story you want to see for your players coming through. You know, at the right point, he plays for the national team. At the right stage in his career, he'll go back and compete in the Australian League, which will continue to raise in quality. He is, as you say, production line, well coached, well drilled, fundamentally sound players.
We've got what we want here on Eurosport 2. A close, classic European encounter, the Eurocup, living up to expectations. Nice variation, good. Extremely good change of the defense there by Rytas. The double team took Gran Canaria right out of it. Just 1.6 on the shot clock, and those plays in these tough, tight games can be so important. Got they left the right man open. Is he going to make the two? He doesn't, and as you said, he's not the greatest shooter.
Shooting's not his forte.
No. Yeah, it's a good defensive series by Rytas to end that first quarter, and we've got a 25-23. Well, hang on to your hats here, because on Eurosport 2, you're going to see a great one. Come back after the break. Well, welcome back to the capital of the Canary Islands and the Centro Insular Deportes, as Gran Canaria have the 2-point lead at the end of the first quarter. And as I mentioned earlier on, even though this is only week 2, this could be a key game in deciding who makes it out of this group as one of the top 2 teams.
Yeah, this group is going to be very difficult. Okay, Villeban got beat quite bad last week in Rytas. There's no shame losing on the road to a team like that. And you know, they're in a ding-dong battle tonight against Mariupol in France. This group could go the way of the home team a long way in. So the first team to win on the road could probably pretty much mark their chips down as going to the next stage.
Well, a little bit of slow-mos from the first quarter, and the last 2 clips you saw were of Gran Canaria players, Freeland and Augustine, close to the hoop. And early on, they really did get good options, either off penetration or of great execution offensively.
They had great execution inside, and then this guy, Mal Sanders, comes off the bench, banging in the deep threes. And it's interesting what you said to me in the break, Mark, about how I commented on the comfort zone that Gran Canaria are in offensively, probably because they're at home. This is their practice floor as well as their match floor. And wow, Sanders continues the hard hand. But Rytas, Lietuvos, are by no means overawed, and if they can sustain and maintain this fantastic pace, 25-23, that's a big 100-point pacer at the moment. If they can maintain that, then you never know. It would be an upset, to me, a big upset if Rytas can win this on the road.
Well, Savan buys the offensive foul there. Nothing there more than been going on at both ends, but the referee decided he'd seen enough. So he called the offensive foul on Rytas. 4-point lead here for Gran Canaria early in the second quarter here in Spain. And Sanders fancies every time he gets the ball, he's looking to shoot the ball. He is instant offense.
Well, that's his job. He's not here to take pictures or sell popcorn. He's here to put points on the board.
Well, there's a couple of guys on both teams who are looking to score. We just saw the little clip there of Chuck Edson. I wasn't expecting this to become a shootout. I must admit, before the game, I thought Rytas, we saw them last week, changing their defenses up a little bit, trying to give the other team a few different issues. But at the moment, offense on both ends of the floor has it.
Yeah, it's early days yet, though, Mark. That's all I'll say. It's early days yet. It's very difficult to sustain this kind of pace for 40 minutes. And I'd be amazed if they both do that.
Well, Melvin Sanders, instant offense, continues to keep that scoreboard ticking over as he makes both from the free throw line. And Rytas ringing the changes as Milko Belic comes back in the game. Haven't seen a lot of him after that first drive where he picked up 2. 6-point margin for Gran Canaria as Privikas gets the Rytas offense going as Easton to the basket, and that's a tough shot, but great follow. Gang rebounded by both teams there. Nice early pass, and great job on the end of the break. And Melvin Sanders just keeps scoring points. It's a great start to the second quarter for Gran Canaria. Rytas have got to just be a bit careful here. They've got to make sure they can keep their own scoreboard ticking over as English. And that's a big, big start for Gran Canaria at the start of the second quarter. And you can see what Coach thinks about that as his face tells a story on that timeout.
Well, you see Gran Canaria is trying to put this game to bed very early. They want to get the big win and get this game sorted by halftime.
Well, coaches don't all, quite often criticize and quite often are given a hard time for in games, but this guy here, real experience. RSC, he's very, very sort of problem, gets the timeout in there straight away, wants to calm it down again. It's like, okay, guys, we've had a bad couple of minutes here. Let's just refocus, get ourselves back into what we do.
Well, he's going to lay into his team a little bit, try and get them focused, as you said. But, these guys have been around the block for a while. This is no chump change under 19 team that hasn't played together before. These guys are very professional. They know what they're doing. They know they're a good team. They're solid performers and have done throughout the season so far.
Well, this will be interesting to see. Sometimes he might change. He quite often changed his defense last week against Villebon coming out of timeouts. He's just wanted to stop this little bit of momentum that at the end of that break there, Gran Canaria at home trying to press that advantage home and have come up with a lot of easy points at the start of the second quarter.
They've increased it. They've maintained, I would say, the defensive pressure, which has turned into a couple of steals. This is what they're hoping, because easy baskets, it's a great way to get the scoreboard going. One of the knocks we always have against Eastern Europeans, and it's the likes of Rytas and formerly Kaunas as well, is they don't get the week in, week out competition at home. So if they've played in their domestic league and won by 50, how does that prepare you to come into a hotbed like this? They need that, so that they are susceptible sometimes on the road to get blown out. But this Rytas team, they're not a team I see getting blown out.
Well, Lukauskas and Milosavljevic, that backcourt was great last week. That pass. Beautiful pick and roll. And Petrovikas makes the finish. Lithuanian basketball, week in, week out, that's what they do.
That's just great execution there. I mean, the pick and roll, Petrovikas roll hard and fast to the basket. Defense doesn't get set. Joel Freeland looking completely frustrated. Like, where's the foul? Oh, sorry, Daniel Kickett was saying, where's the foul, ref? Savane got caught in between guarding his guy and guarding the dribbler, and one opportunity. This is what we're talking about. Teams that normally would buckle under the sort of pressures being put on Rytas, no way. 3-point play back in the game.
Wow, completes the 3-point play, gets the scoreboard ticking over. That'll give him a bit more confidence, cuts it to a 7-point lead, and the effect of the kick-out foul is that Albert Moncasa comes into the game. Young man, a 22-year-old, product of the Barcelona junior system. They don't get any worse, and they rotate players off of that Gran Canaria bench. English shows what he's been doing in the ACB this season. Serious penetration down the middle, kisses it off the glass too. You can't leave Lukauskas open. Great decision, wait for the foul, gets the easy 2. And since that timeout, Petrikas has got inside and they've got that scoreboard ticking over. Sign of a good team. They haven't gone away from what they do. Ball movement's good by Gran Canaria. English looks to penetrate. Ball movement's good. Mario Fernandez kicks it. English puts it on the floor. He's going to pull up. Little fade away on its side of the backboard and nothing. Chance here now for Rytas to get down the floor and get that scoreboard ticking over. Lukauskas picks it up. Great pass and
great block.
Well, it should have finished, but again, they stayed in the defensive play. They didn't get beaten by the pass. They reacted, they rotated, they scrambled. And Gran Canaria with English with a deep 3. Well, nothing phases this guy.
Well, Mark, you talk about a team that shoots with confidence. We talk about home court advantage. Does that shot going in Rytas? I'm not saying that he definitely doesn't, but you know, his confidence level is through the roof. And the gym, he shoots 1,000 shots a day in this court, probably. That basket is wow.
Execution.
I'm sorry to lose my breath there, Mark, but that was just great comeback by Rytas. These are two high-quality teams. Gran Canaria are worth 10 points extra at home, and Rytas are proving themselves completely unfazed by the proposition.
Wow, Sanders takes an ugly-looking shot. I mean, then again, I was almost expecting that to go in with the way the shot at the moment. But Rytas haven't and won't change what they do. This is how they play. They're going to stay with this. Milicevic almost does, in fact, turn it over. Mario Fernandez shoots the ball way long on the 2. Great work on the glass by Moncasa. And I think he's the 11th Gran Canaria player to enter the game. And the young guy from Barcelona announces himself with an offensive rebound, and he will go to the free throw line. And we've got a timeout by Gran Canaria, who to an extent have really almost got overexcited almost with the shots they're taking. Yeah,
it's got too easy sometimes, and you know, you need to settle it down, but their defensive intensity has been sensational.
Well, it's Gran Canaria's turn to take the timeout. They still lead, but in the last minute or so, they've lost a little bit of control, and they've maybe gone over the top in terms of the shots they've taken. But what we've seen so far is it's just an exhibition by Gran Canaria. They want to push the ball. They have a way of playing, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they certainly have. They stuck to their game plan. And this, you know, it's ACB basketball as well. It's not something that they put a special game plan in for Rytas. This is the way they play every night on the floor. Rytas have been equal to the challenge so far, but as I said, I keep questioning, can they sustain on a 20-plus point per quarter average? They've got to get some defensive stops, slow the game down a little bit. 38-30, halfway through the second quarter. We're looking on pace where both teams in the 50s by halftime. That, even if it's a 2-point game or Rytas are in front, that's not something that I want to see if I'm in their position.
Well, it's also what Gran Canaria used to have. They're coming off of a 102, 90-odd win against Carcassol at the weekend, where Carcassol just ran out of steam. And that's literally what I think we could see here, because they are so deep in terms of people who are coming on the floor looking to score. But offensively anyway, Rytas have found a way to get Petrovikas the ball on the inside. But the key is, as Martin's just said, is whatever defense they put on the floor, they've got to find a way to stop that offensive machine that's Gran Canaria at the moment.
They've got to get some defensive stops, and as I said, it's defensive rhythm. Once you find a way of stopping a team defensively, you tend to keep going back to it. They haven't found that yet. As I said, we keep saying Gran Canaria are getting the shots what they want, when they want, where they want, and they got to stop one of those three, the what, where, or when. Take that away, just give yourself a chance.
Wow, 39-30 as Moncasa misses the second of the 2 free throws. Lukauskas.
And Lukauskas can't be the point guard. They need his offensive output.
Oh,
they need to get. That's got to be the shot for Lukauskas. They need another ball handler.
Yeah,
Milicevic needs to be handling the ball a lot more than what he is.
Well, Balika, who's he's not in a good place at the moment. That's his 3rd foul. He's normally one of the major offensive threats on this team. He hasn't got his offense going, and his frustrations boiled over at the defensive end. Picks up his 3rd foul.
Well, don't forget, Mark, last week he is 16 points on 5 of 5 from shooting from the 2-point line, perfect from the foul line. The only shot he missed was the free throw. You know, this guy is an efficient player, Serbian national. He's not going to be happy. You know, foul trouble, the worst thing it does is it breaks up your rhythm.
Zavakas comes in for him. There's another 3-pointer, and it's that man, Carl English. And well, described by anybody who's guarding him as just damn tough to stop. That's the comment I get from everybody I speak to about him in the ACB. He just plays hard and scores on you. Here's Rytas in the half court. They've got to hang on now to Gran Canaria. They're having a hot spell. Lukauskas on the dribble. Finds Petrovikas on the inside. We're going to get a 3-second call. It's probably going to be a 3-second call or an offensive push off the way.
The referee had a choice. And again, I come back to the same problem for Lietuvos. They're trying to get Lukauskas to generate his own shot, and which in the last week, he gets a penetrating kick. Point guard getting him, Milicevic getting to the cup and kicking out. Chuck Edson generating the shot for him. He's trying to go one-on-one, and what's happening now is, we talk about taking away the what, where, and when. Gran Canaria are taking away the what, and the what they're taking away from Rytas is Lukauska's offensive output.
Yeah, it's Freeland back in the game. Finds Jim Moran, who's also come back off the bench, but this man's been in for a while and is still in there. English tried to find Freeland in the block. A little bit sloppy, turnover.
He lost control of the ball, they didn't, and it's one of those things big men hate. Bail out by a guard. Oh, I couldn't get my shot off. Here you go, big man, you have a turn.
It's chance here. Edson tries to turn the corner and does, and there's that, as Martin described it, that slow motion should have made the two. Petrovic has almost got the offensive putback. Net effect, Gran Canaria off to the races again. Almost a turnover on the pass, but this is where Lukauskis should score his points and doesn't. Wow, end to end, and at the end it's going to be Mario Fernandez for the easy two. 44-30. Wow, for the next 4 minutes, Rytas have got to find a way to get this under 10 and not let this Gran Canaria performance become a runaway train.
Well, the problem for Lukauskis is when he finally does get the shot, ball created for him in his comfort zone, he has to shoot it, and that's why that last shot wasn't a bad shot, but he's not in his rhythm yet. He could have turned that one down and let him try and create something else. Right. He got a goaltend there. Freeland a bit late with that block shot.
Well, again, the most productive execution that Rytas have at the moment. There's a lot of high-low stuff to Petrovic, and he takes a spell on the bench at this point, and he's been the main points for the last few minutes.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Mark, Petrovic is not going to score enough to win a game for you. You know, Gran Canaria will take that one-on-one, make you throw lob passes over the top. It's not going to be enough. Certainly not when you're down by 12. He's not going to get you back in. They've got to get their three-point threats going.
Well, Moncasa, who's not known for his ability to put it on the floor, did a good job drawing the foul, and we'll go to the free-throw line.
You got two well-coached teams here, two very deep teams. And, you know, Gran Canaria just playing above the level I expect them to play, actually. I mean, they really have put up a great performance.
And everybody's contributed. Moncasa comes up one from two again. It's a 13-point Gran Canaria lead. Here's Lukauskis looking to turn the corner. Can't manage it. Zavakis with the three strokes. The Lithuanian under-20 international just knocks down the threes, does it though he does it all the time. And we've got a whistle. Moncasa's the name came up there from the director as I think he was called for the foul. It was out of my line of sight as Zavakis shot the three. Super Mario Fernandez takes a spell on the bench, and Moncasa was just late as he tried to close out on Donatas Zavakis.
Good screen, though. You see there as he looked like he's going to change, and there's a definite foul. He'll follow through afterwards, and you've got to make the free throw.
We're going to play.
So rare to get one, and Chuck Edson there tries to sneak in underneath Moncasa, and he commits the foul as well, which is an unnecessary foul. You know, let him have the ball that far. You're not going to strip him and get. And if you did get the steal, there's 6 guys under the basket. What are you going to do with it? It's not worth the gamble for a guy who's this important to Rytas, because if Edson gets in foul trouble, well, I'm not saying it's all over, but there's not much
they're in
chance.
trouble. They are definitely in trouble. And here's Moncasa, who appears to have rented that spot at the free throw line in the last couple of minutes. He's only been 1 from 2 on his trips to the line so far. Can he make it 2 from 2? And he maintains that 50% average, but there's a lot of hustle on the offensive boards. But Rytas will control possession. Chuck Edson at the point. It's down to an 11-point lead. It's looking a little better. Just under 4 to go. Wide open 3. That's long. Rytas will control the rebound. The good, smart play here by Lukauskis. Going on this side, that's going to be stolen. Picked his pocket. Chance for Gran Canaria to run. Moran on the dribble.
Nice pass.
Beautiful pass from Moncasa is blocked, but it's a team effort by Gran Canaria. All 5 guys ran the floor. And Joel Freeland, last man.
The basket, and he hustled down to get the tip back for the easy dunk.
Well, Lukauskis not feeling it tonight. Passes up the open 2. Moran with a decent defensive rebound. Chance for Gran Canaria to run again. Beautiful pass, not finished, but Freeland on the follow with the dunk. And as I've just said, all 5 guys in yellow run the floor, and they just do not stop. It is that runaway train.
Wow, this great execution. No look pass by Norris, and there's Joel Freeland with authority. Banging it down. Throw it down, big fella.
15-point lead, Gran Canaria. Rytas trying to stay in the game. Foul on the penetration. Moncasa will pick up that foul, and they don't seem to care. They've got so deep now. The big guys, every one of their big guys, Freeland, Moncasa, Kicker, they're going in there, and you've got to play hard, guys. We've got the depth here. Go hard, play hard. If you're fouling people, so what? We'll bring James Augustine back in the game. They've
got a nice 4-man rotation. You notice all their big men are similar in size. Well, Savannah's a little bit smaller, but they're all the same sort of build and athleticism. It helps the coach because he knows what he's going to get out of everybody that goes on the floor. Well, we've got a technical foul. Yeah, referee's called a... It looks like he's called Bob Askers for swinging an elbow here. Right, it should be unsportsmanlike, but he's called it technical. He's called it as a technical foul. I'd like to see that interpretation in the rule book, Mark. I'm not so sure. Right, well, there's a foul, and there's a foul, and then he swings the elbow through. And you know what the refs called that is because when he swung his first arm through, he'd taken his hand off the ball. Right. So it's clear in space, and that is an infraction. Is it a technical foul? No, I'm trying to say there's some intent. I don't think it was any intent. We haven't done in that style of the game, has it? No, Marcus Norris. And if Marcus Norris had been called for a reach, he wouldn't have had a complaint to start with because he was right up in the face of Babaruskaus, and Norris misses the second. Walked off the line before it shot that one. It's like that guy on the putting green. Most of the time I do that. I hit it and I follow it because I know it's not going in. So. And here at Gran Canaria. Now this is a very, very dangerous time here for Rytas. Last few minutes, he's gone to the zone. There's 16 down. There's still 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Gran Canaria already have 51. Make that 54 as Jim Moran just spots up and strokes the 3. And the importance there, Mark, of the ball fake. Norris faked to the corner, looked the other way, and then still went back to him. Just enough to hold the defense steady. And this defense, this is what's really impressing me now. They put the clamps down. After giving up 23 points in the first quarter. Oh, take that, Joel. Wow, Eaton moved. It was great recognition. Saw that teammate Petrovicus was struggling to keep the ball in bounds. Now, if you're Rytas now, are Gran Canaria going to come out and shoot this well in the second half? Well, they are at home, and they've got to fancy themselves to do so. But to score 54 like this in a half at this sort of percentage, I'm not even sure the home court will allow them to do that in the second half. So you've got to try and hang around. You've got to try and be that 10, 12 points down going into the half. Well, the question for Rytas is, can they turn it around and replicate a quarter like this in the third or the fourth quarter? It doesn't matter which one. 29 to 14, 30 points they've given up in this quarter. Remember last week they're giving up 16 and 17 points a quarter. Defensively they improved quarter on quarter. At this rate here, they could give up 100 points easily, and they might not get the 40 in this quarter. That means that they're on track for a 20-point loss at the moment. And this is so important in the whole context of the game. These last 2 minutes of the first half. Edson is fouled. He's a smart player, Edson. You know, the reaction to being down by 19 on the road could be, let's get the shot off quick. And he didn't. He saw the physical bump was going to come. Just draw the foul. I'll go to the free throw line and get the 2. See that? Running straight for the bump. That's what he's playing for. Come on, ref, give him my 2 free throws. To the easy way. Score without the clock running down. It chips away at the lead. Oh, here is Edson. Every single trip to the free throw line is important. Even though we're just coming up to the half-time break here. He's played really well. Yeah. I'm more and more impressed with him each time I see him on the floor. But Edson, we thought he was a nice score in France, but he's stepped up a level now in Lithuania. And he's come to the hard way. You know, he started the NBDL at the North Charleston Low Gators, Germany, France, as we said, at Strasbourg, and there's a couple of years in Lithuania. Yeah, he's really a solid player.
It's an nice pivot, nice kick, extra pass, and would have been wide open. We didn't make the pass. Beautiful look by Edson. Petrovikas misses the two-pointer from underneath the hoop.
And Mark, you know, I'm going to say, throw it down, big man.
Throw it down. Spin. And doesn't get the roll, but great work again by Augustine on the boards. Great work by Norris on the boards. This team from Gran Canaria just works so hard for each other. Edson trying to get that scoreboard ticking over for Rytas. In the last minute, nice pass, he's fouled. Got to come up stronger though, surely.
Yeah, you got to look to finish. You know, they're shook because the defense has been so tough in this second quarter. Now we have to put a bit of a qualifier on that, because 25 points in the first quarter for Gran Canaria, 31 points in the second quarter. So although we're saying Rytas have had the clamps put on them, they've still come up with 17 points. So it's not a bad offensive output. It just looks so bad because Gran Canaria have been so good at the other end of the floor.
Here is Petrovikas. Marianos Petrovikas makes both from the free throw line. We've got a whistle.
He's performed well, Petrovikas, but as I said, even if he gets 20 and 10, it's not gonna. He's not the kind of player that's going to get you the win. That's the thing that you're really going to struggle with.
Well, it's a 15-point margin as we deep in the last minute of the first half. Timeout here. Obviously, Gran Canaria looking to make the most of the last 30-odd seconds. Maybe looking for like a 2-for-1 situation so they can get a quick shot, hopefully get it back. The way they're shooting the ball at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if they just come down and just try and get a quick one away. Rytas don't want it to be any worse than 15. So if they give up 2, they've got to go down the floor and score again. 15, or if they get the stop, under 15, they're going to have some momentum.
If I'm Gran Canaria, I'll take the 2-for-1 if I can get it, because I've got my shooters that are gunning so well. You know, I'm 6-for-14 on the 3-point line, penetrating kick for the quick jump shot. If not, just take what the defense gives you, and what they're really looking for, more importantly, is a stop at the other end. Will they go for another steal? They've already had, how many steals? 5 steals so far, and Rytas has been pestered into 8 turnovers versus only 3 for Gran Canaria. If I'm Gran Canaria, I'm going to go for a quick one here. If I don't get it, I'll just take what they give me. Most importantly, don't let Rytas score. That's the positive that Rytas can take from the end of this quarter.
Well, Rytas are definitely going to get the ball back, and they've, for their momentum going in, they have to find a way to get a good shot. Whether it's after with 5 seconds because Gran Canaria have used up all their shot clock, or whether they do get a long shot clock because they've gone 2-for-1. Well, Rytas are trying to take away the 2-for-1 by slowing the ball up. They've done a good job with that. A little 1-2-2 trap. Now they're going to fall back and just guard them in the half court. Good job by Rytas there to take away that 2-for-1 option. Here's Gran Canaria trying to get the shot. 15 up. And bound to find the shooter stepping in. Huge tree. If that's the best they can get. Good job getting the defensive yards. A turnover.
Gotta have the layup, not the 3.
Takes the 3, just misses the 3. Well, we've ended up with that 56-41 margin, and the 15-point margin it is. And Gran Canaria have given an exhibition of offensive basketball. Can they maintain it in the second half? See us after this short break. Welcome back to Gran Canaria, as Salvar Maldonado has his last-minute instructions to his team. One of the things we often talk about, Martin, in this situation is a team that's gone out and done so well in the first half, and the half-time can sometimes break up all that momentum.
Yeah, momentum gets broken up, and you would expect a team of the professionalism that you expect from Rytas to come out, and they're going to make a run. The question is how long and sustained that run will be, and how quickly Gran Canaria can re-establish their dominance in the game. Of course, they may not. We've seen bigger turnarounds than what we've got in front of us tonight. 15-point deficit. If Rytas can sustain and have another 40-plus point half, all they've got to do is get the defense sorted out. They win this game. So it's by no means over. They will make a run. You're absolutely right, Mark.
So if we were in that Rytas locker room, We talked about it briefly during that half-time break. The two keys for them in terms of what can they do to Gran Canaria to try and slow down that train of an offense of theirs.
Well, they've got to take care of the ball. You know, they had 8 turnovers, and every turnover and every offensive rebound that they gave up in the first half led to an opportunity. You know, Gran Canaria, it's quite simple math. They took 13 more shots and it led to 15 more points. They've got to get the shot count balanced, and they've got to play some solid defense. If they play them straight up, and if they can get Lietuvos going, get some points on the board from him, they can get back in this game, and in a hurry.
Yeah, and I think this, the first part of this third quarter is so important, not in terms of closing the gap, but setting a tone for how they're going to play the second half. Here they are, there's the pick and roll. Bilic slips the screen, nice little bounce pass, should go up and make the easy 2, doesn't, stays with the play, and gets himself going. Asks the referee, stop asking the referee, young man, you just get the 2. If he blows it to the extra 1, don't play for the foul. 56-43. Turnover. This is a good start for Rytas. First 2 possessions. Early look on the break, gets to the hoop, is fouled, and 1 from Chuck Eatson. And how does the guy like that, his athleticism isn't great, just does a great job getting
He knew the body bump was coming, Mark, the whole way. He knew Augustine was going to go with big Joel Freeland. There you go. There's the bang, pushed off a little bit. He's got big hands. It's hard to actually see that, but he can hold the ball with one hand, palm it, and he gets to that left hand, and it's awkward because he is left-handed, and just a little kiss off the glass, and he does that time and time again. Losing the 17 points. He just needs a bit more help, one more guy to step up.
Well, almost, oh, what a block! Wow, Freeland went up the dunk, and Petrovica said, not here, young man.
And Freeland goes from getting his 3rd foul in an and-1 situation, then getting a dunk blocked. This is just the start that Rytas wanted. Mark, you asked about momentum being broken. How's about that for broken momentum?
Well, I know we're only a minute in, but they've just gone 8-0 at the start. And it's a tremendous start by Rytas. Not even concerned about the foul. Lietuvos is talking to Sanders there. You're not going to get that easy catch you got in the first half. If you're going to catch it, you got to go past me. None of this catching, just now shots on us.
Yeah, coach has jumped on him at halftime. You see that. Lietuvos saying, hold on, get up off me. And yeah, there's a foul. Toughness. Now, who is going to take the lead for Gran Canaria and get them back on track?
They've brought in Josh Fisher. Josh Fisher whipped the basketball now. 7-point margin. Tremendous start by Rytas. What being a championship team. There's Sanders off the catch. Freeland on the offensive board, tries to get himself to the glass. Nice shot, touch, finish.
You've got to be impressed with this
Absolutely.
kid here. You know, 20 years old, and to have come from what he was, stacking shelves at a well-known supermarket when he was 15, and he's gone to this stage. To be that effective in the low post, it's just a great story.
Well, Rytas come back with another 2 on the inside. 58-51. Gran Canaria still have the 7-point lead. Josh Fisher kicks it, looking for Sanders. Nice little handoff by Freeland, and the foul by Lietuvos, and the and 1 by Sanders, who answers the challenge that Lietuvos gave him with back-to-back points and back-to-back shots, and really getting Lietuvos. That's not Lietuvos, that's Petrovica. Nice little hand off by Freeland. Nice touch, soft hands by the big man.
Mark, we talk about the big run that Rytas was going to make. They've made their run. The question is, has Gran Canaria weathered the storm? They just took a couple of minutes to get themselves back in their rhythm. Now, this is the chess match that is basketball. Okay, you make your run, now I'll make mine. Rytas needs to make another run to try and shut down Gran Canaria, and I'm not so sure because the crowd gets back into it. They've all come back from halftime now. They've been to the toilet. They've got their next beer and they've finished their sausage. Let's get back into the business, what we're here for.
Lietuvos gets the ball to Eatson. Great pass by Eatson. Bilic stays with it, misses the easy one. Milicevic just about comes back with the recovery of the basketball. And Bilic has just got to stop being worried about being fouled and just score.
He's missed a couple of chippies, little easy layups he's blown. He makes those. This game is back on into full effect.
Well, here they are, Eatson with those long steps. Petrovica on his own on the glass, goes up. Oh, there's another little chippy as Martin describes him. Got to make those. Milicevic with a foul.
How many times do you see this, Mark? You see a big man like Petrevicius going 5 for 7, 6 for 5 in the first half. Second half, donuts.
Gran Canaria weathering that storm, got a chance to get it back to 12 or even 13 on the back of a 3. Here's James Augustine extending that high post. Fisher and Sanders combined in the back court for the open look for Sanders is no good. Milicevic will let it run.
Mark, remember in the first half, Augustine, we talked about the big men of Gran Canaria, Augustine and Freeland and even Muncassar and Daniel Kicker, all getting into the flow, getting the touches, getting the hands on the ball offensively. This second half, it's come out, okay, Freeland, well, he's got his dunk blocked, but you've got the guards just putting it up. Mel Sanders pulling it up.
I'm trying to work out the referee's call. I can only think they're calling for the carry. There was no foul called. And the referee with the number 33 on the back has called an illegal dribble. Well, interesting call. We've got a foul as Freeland posted up and Petrevicius came over. I'm sure the Rytas bench is calling for number 33 to come in as his time's up. But that was a good call by the official. Good post by Freeland.
Yeah, took up solid position, but Petrevicius reached round, but he had the backhand on the hip. Almost like he was taking his girlfriend to the cinema, and the referee spotted it and called the foul.
Fisher finds Augustine in the corner. What a potent offensive lineup that Gran Canaria have at the moment. All 5 of these guys have just got points, and Freeland goes to post, and the ball's just thrown away.
It's amazing. Norris can obviously only make the good low post pass when he's got some pressure on the ball. That was just a straightforward bounce pass required, and he threw it away from well, there wasn't a signal, but I mean, we're not going to get too technical or critical of either player. Sometimes those things happen.
Right, here's Milicevic. Penetrates, breaks it down, is fouled. No.
Wow. Oh, I'm not so sure about that one, Mark.
Jeez, I've got every sympathy with Milicevic there. You just saw his arm just stopped in his motion going forward, and there's 3 officials out there, and no one seemed to see Branko Milicevic's arm being taken away. But
well, no, I mean, that was almost an intentional foul.
Yeah, absolutely.
That for a while, but he was chopping his arm. He's saying no layups.
Lukaukis is blocked by Fisher.
Wow.
Was a foul, I'd have thought, but no call. Milicevic gets past again on the run, gets the drop.
You know,
strong play, strong play.
The referee's waving it off.
No.
He's waving it off as being after the shot clock. If they wave that bucket off, I'm going to be quite disappointed. I was about to say, sometimes you get a couple of calls, no calls on obvious fouls like that.
Oh, that's 3 whistles or no whistles in succession on the road. There's still only 10 down, Rytas, but well, you don't need that.
They waved the bucket off. 2 fouls that should have been called fouls, not called. And then you wave up a layup, which they work so hard for.
There's 3 guys out there. Someone should have seen one of those. Going to the inside, Augustine. And we got a whistle on that one.
Got to call that one, hasn't he? Got to call that shot clock violation.
Well, it's interesting here. We've seen a great half of basketball. And at the moment, the game has lost a lot of its rhythm. And I have to say, we're not really normally critical of referees. Most of that reasoning is down to the way the referees have just blown the last minute and a half.
Well, I think all 10 players on the floor thought the first hack was a foul. Now they've got to make up for it. This is the frailty of human refereeing. You know, it adds to the spice of the game, I guess, because referees get caught up in the rhythm in the moment. But there, he's got to start calling some fouls. Now, if that's a foul, you can't tell me that kamikaze chop that we saw 30 seconds ago wasn't one.
No, and I absolutely agree. And, well, in some ways, though, if Rytas can just maintain some composure, breaking up the momentum of the game is going to do nothing but help their cause.
I'll tell you what, I do like Josh Fisher in the open court.
Yeah. Pushes
the ball out in front of him and challenges the defense to make him give it up.
Well, here's Milicevic now, guarded in the half court by Marcus Norris. Ball movement's good. Bilic puts it on the floor. Milicevic comes off the high post screen. Looking to create, turns the corner, look for the pass under the basket, thrown it away. This is only going one way. Sanders to the basket. Edson does enough to actually put him off. Augustine throws the ball against Martinez Gesavicas, and it will be a Gran Canaria ball. And the timeout's called, and the game has lost that moment, that balance and rhythm that it had. It's become messy. But the one thing that's consistent is Gran Canaria pushing the ball.
Yeah, and if you're Rytas, I don't mind messy, because I was down by 15 at half-time. What's been continued is this sustained pressure by Gran Canaria. They get the ball, and they are off to the races. They are daring you to stop them on the fast break.
Well, it's still, if we hadn't had that really great start by Rytas in this third quarter, they're still leading this third quarter. They're still eating into that lead. They've got to inch their way back. If they can beat 10 down at the quarter, they'd have taken that at halftime. Well,
the most important thing here is, you know, there's four. We're almost halfway through the third quarter, and they've only given up 7 points. So even though Gran Canaria are pushing the ball aggressively, they're not scoring a lot, and that's great news if you're Rytas.
Well, the cheerleaders entertain the crowd at the end of this timeout. Let's see if Rytas can continue that momentum coming out the timeout. Well, Rytas lead in this third quarter by 3. They've eaten into the Gran Canaria lead, and they lead 10-7 on the quarter and have cut it to a 12-point margin. Gran Canaria looking for the inside play, and Freeland with those soft hands again. He's a nice touch around the basket,
great
Joel
catch,
Freeland.
Though. It was a nice pass, inbounds play, great execution. He slashed hard to the basket, and you're right, Mark, caught a hard bullet pass. Oh,
that's going to be a Rytas ball. Came off of Josh Fisher's hands. Chuck Edson was so open. Disappointed they couldn't actually execute the pass. Well, just under 5 to go. Second half of the third quarter. Belika with Milicevic. Gets the high post screen, turns the corner, tries to. Little tough shot, the running hook, makes it. It's back to 13. They're hanging around now, Rytas. Change of the defense. So going to pack it down underneath a little bit more. They're still man-to-man, though. Fisher on the perimeter, looking inside. Nice pass. And Freeland just executed. And Milicevic should be frustrated because the defense just went soft.
Right, and that was such a well-executed offense there. Freeland goes the low-to-low screen, and Bjelica was the one who went to sleep and didn't see man-and ball. And when Freeland set the screen, he chased the guy going to the low post, and Freeland just rolled open for the dunk. And Freeland is in the zone at the moment, Mark.
But Belika again, though, around the basket, soft finish. Got to make better of that. Edson gave him 2 points there.
And credit the defensive intensity. They put the hammer on him from the beginning of this game. And we've looked at Freeland's performance at the early stage of this Euro Cup, and we said he's put up some good numbers, and you can see why. He's got great energy on the court. You know, as he moves on, was he 14, 16 points now, 5 or 6 rebounds. He's challenged a couple of shots. Okay, he's got dunked on. He's been posterized. But that aside, he's had a great night and a great advertisement for British basketball. Nice to say that every now and then.
Oh, absolutely nice to say that every now and again. And Freeland will be such an important member of the Great Britain team playing in the Eurobasket finals this coming summer. Wow, Edson, when he gets going, he can score, and it was one of the ways that Rytas can get themselves right back in this. They're only trailed 12, and we've been really going on about the Gran Canaria offense, but they're still only 12 up, and a little bit of brakes have been put on that runaway train at the moment. Here's Fisher. Better defense, gets to the baseline though, looks to kick it, turnover, possibly should have shot that. Milicevic, chance to cut it to 10, or even get it to single figures. Milicevic pulls up the 3, is long. Fisher just about controls it, looks to push it again here as Marcus Norris helps him out. Fisher combines with Norris with a long 3, is long.
Wow, they really have got the green light, haven't they? Because that's one I would say, hold up guys, slow it down a step.
Well, it's almost like the line of, if you play enough defense, you get more of a green light down the other end, and they all do what they do, and that's they're obviously comfortable with that, and teams are being challenged, as you said, Martin, to stop them scoring. Here's Milicevic off that screen, nice pass, easy 2. Well, it's 10. 67-57.
I was going to ask you, Mark, where's Petravitus? Remember, he said in the first half he had 14 points. That's his first bucket of the third quarter. So if he gets up to 20-something, Edson seems to me to be the most important guy at the moment.
Ah, Freeland again, good execution, sealed his man off, drop step, easy 2. Back to 12, 69-57. You're still quiet. You're still more positive than you were at the half if you're Rytas at the moment.
Yeah, but you've got to find an answer for the ever-energetic.
That's a travel. Travel by Zavakis. The defense calls the travel again. Kicker stepped out.
And that's not his job, though, Mark. You know that. It's pump fake. Defense gets in the air. Move the ball on. Chuck Edson, Mindaugas, Lukauskas, Milisavljevic. Those are the guys that are the decision makers. You got to open. If you can't shoot it, move the ball on.
Savan is back in the game. Carl English is back in the game, and wow. Two of the real major players in Gran Canaria's rise up the ACB this season. Here's Norris off that high post screen. Kicker can shoot the three. Steps back for it. Strokes it. Saw him do that a lot last year in the LEB Gold. The one down from the ACB. He is one of those European-style big guys who can stroke that three from the 4th spot. Excellent execution.
He'd tell you he's an Aussie-style big man who can do it.
That's true. Spot. That trademark three-point threat from a big man. As Edson, again, in his own time, gets himself free for the shot. Good work by Zavakis on the glass. Gotta make the little shot. It's contagious on that Rytas team.
Wow, Craigie, take the blindfold off. The idea is to get the ball in the basket, not around it.
Norris finds Kicker again outside the three-point line.
I like the way Gran Canaria go back to what works for them. Kicker had the pick and pop, straight back to it.
Savan inside, past the Kicker, is fouled, and Edson is asking why. Maybe it's because there's an inconsistency in some of the officiating on tonight's game, but he fouled him, and Daniel Kicker should go to the free throw line. Nice pass by Savan. There's a little push in the back. It's nothing major, but it's a foul.
It's a foul, but the interesting thing is Savane has got so little, well, say confidence. He knows, it's not like confidence, he knows he can't score. He was a wide open layup, and even then he still had to give it up.
It's a nice feel around this Gran Canaria team, the way they share the basketball.
But you can see the frailty, though, Mark, as we talk about. They have not let up. They have one gear. You know, their offense is all out. They got to try and score quick. They're trying to get points up. My old coach, college coach Sonny Smith, used to say, you need to shoot before you throw the ball away. That's their mentality. Get it up. And when they're hitting like tonight, they're a great team. That's why they're so effective at home.
Well, the other thing is that they've got guys going to the offensive boards hard as well in broken play. So they're coming up with some offensive rebounds at all. Here's Milisavljevic. Zavakis with the long three is short. Petrovicus, that should be a Rytas basketball. But they saw 4 yellow shirts on the defensive boards, and Petrovicus home alone going to the offensive boards. There's got to be some energy plays from this Rytas lineup if they have any hope of getting back into this game. And the other point, Martin, that we made, if it carries on like this group's going to be tight. The point spread come the end of the group could be important. Asvel
expected happily to have beaten Mariupol, got a home win. And so the point spread will be important in this game, because obviously whatever Gran Canaria win by, that's assuming that they do win, but, you know, let's not take that as read yet. They've got to defend that point spread when they go to Rytas in the second from last game in the group.
End-line basketball for Rytas, and then the other way around, Rytas, regardless of anything else, have to play hard for the whole of the 40 minutes. Just should be one shot here, 19 seconds on the quarter time. Almost a turnover. To turn the corner, nice pass. That man Edson is fouled by Savan as Edson protects the ball so well, goes up and draws the foul. Will go to the free throw line, and more often than not, these are points in the back for Chuck Edson. He's a very, very, very good free throw shooter. He didn't miss in game 1.
Both teams have shown exceptionally well at the foul line tonight. And what was that? 14-16 for Rytas now. That's 86-87%.
Edson trying to cut into that lead. Does. Beautiful stroke. Looks like he's going to get this break, this short break and the quarter break. Good coaching in terms of management of his time here, giving him as much time and maximising the effect to the end of the quarter.
And what that also says, Mark, is that he's not given up on this game yet. He is still marshalling his troops. He's looking to make a run in the 4th quarter and get back in this game.
Well, Carl English puts up an enormous 3. And we've got a whistle at the end of the quarter. Well, it's as you were at the end of the third quarter. A 15-point margin, 74-59. Gran Canaria still have it. We're going to take a short break. Can Rytas get back in this? Welcome back to Gran Canaria here in the Canary Islands. Home crowd enjoyed the first three quarters. Gran Canaria built this 15-point lead, giving themselves every opportunity to get themselves off the mark in this group. And as Martin said just before the break there, Billabong have won at home. So Gran Canaria, if they win tonight, are looking to make this group every team with a one-on-one record. It looked like a tough group when we saw these with the draw of this, and it's turning out to be one of the tough groups of the competition.
Yeah, you can see that, you know, on paper, proving out on court as well as Milosavljevic there, showing his ability on with a sweet little runner. But as we look at these highlights, we're seeing quality basketball here, not least of which by that young man there, Joel Freeland. The most entertaining player to watch has been this Chuck Edson. Now, he's been so good tonight. But as you said, this is a tightly balanced group. The top two, it's quite simple this year in Eurocup. There's no best third place finish. Get in the top two, which means win all your home games and still win on the road. This group here could be very difficult to win on the road in.
Well, this is the second week we've covered games in this group, and it's underlined already that this is going to be a group that's going to go right down to the wire. Every team looks like they're going to, unless Rytas come back with that second half, the fourth quarter performance, it could have every team on a one-on-one record. Here's Carl English, guarded by Lukauskas, who's been absent in this game. If Rytas could get him going in this fourth quarter, it could become an interesting night. English pulls up for the three. Way long, defensive rebound by Edson. Another line in the stat for Chuck Edson. He contributes to this team in every category.
I'll tell you, Mark, I'm not going to write Rytas.
No, off. Absolutely not.
You know, they got their defense in order in the third quarter. They got to make some shots, and if this guy here gets going, but more importantly to me, if Gran Canaria keep relying on deep threes, and that's what Carl English and Mel Sanders do, they jack threes up. So they're going to keep shooting long balls. If they're not making them, Rytas get back in this game, but they need some easy transition buckets.
Lukauskas has just got to get himself going. Nice pass, and for the first time in a while, they make that easy
Somebody make a layup.
Well, and the huge man, Azimovas, the 7'3" center, just stroked there. A nice little touch off the backboard. Gets it to a 13-point game. Mario Fernandez looking for Savani on the inside. Fernandez penetrates, going to look to the baseline, almost another turnover. Why? They fouled in that penetration. And Pravikas gets the foul. Well, there's signs at the beginning of the fourth quarter here that things could get interesting.
Yeah, this isn't about rhythm or confidence now. This is about making plays. And they can't afford to commit those kind of fouls. They've got to do everything right. You're down by 13 points with 9.5 minutes to go. You got to do a lot of things right to win this game.
Good to see that Moncasa gets back in the game. Maldonado staying with a policy of running his whole team in the Eurocup. Savani should make that, gets the foul.
Wow.
Jeez.
You know, the thing that is hard to tell if you're at home is Anissimovas, 7'3", what's that, 2 meters 14, 2 meters 16 against 2 meters 1. So you got a 15-centimeter advantage, and you're going to foul him.
No, it's just, well, Savani's not the most potent offensive threat unless he is 4 feet from the basket.
But he can shoot free throws.
Absolutely.
He's looking to draw fouls. And there's going to be a scouting report that says before the game, this guy's not really going to score, just don't foul him.
Wow. Makes both from the line. He is one of those Ron-Seal players that we talk about every week. What he says on the tin is exactly what you get from him. Restores the 15-point margin. It's Edson. Pulls up for three. Strokes it and cans it, and it's a 13-point game for Chuck Edson.
And Mark, that is a guy who can win the game on his own. He could go for a 20-point quarter, so he's throwing the challenge down. He's going to try and make some shots for them. That's his spot, top of the key, making threes, draw fouls.
That's offensive, yep. Good call by the official. And at the moment, Carl English is just trying a little bit too hard. We were talking in that quarter break about one of the good things about Gran Canaria is the way they share the ball. Well, Carl English at the moment isn't doing that.
Well, He's a guy who scores. You know, as I said, he puts the ball over here, and Melvin Sanders, both of them, they let fly. And when it's going in, it's great. But when it isn't, it's really tough. And now, wow, you got Edson making threes. If you can get Lukauskas making layups and shooting free throws, as Carl English, bad shot at one end, and then commits the foul at the other.
Well, this is one of the things I always try and emphasize to some players. You know, if you're a shooter like that, you can get yourself going with a couple of free throws. Lukauskas hasn't made a shot from the perimeter at all. Make these couple of free throws, get a bit of a feel going, then he may be able to help Chuck Eaton get this team right back in this game.
Well, at least he becomes a threat, and this is the whole point. He didn't play a lot in the second quarter. His game was out of sorts, out of whack. Now he's going to play down the stretch. This is when the coach of Rytas is making his move. Right, here we go. I'm 3 points up in the fourth quarter. I'm going to put the locks on Gran Canaria. Gran Canaria is going to keep shooting threes. If the percentages for them come down and it balances up, we can still win this game.
Well, none of a team is, I mean, they're 30-odd% Gran Canaria from the three-point line. Rytas way below their normal average percentage-wise from the three-point line. Those things over a period of time, over the game, normally even themselves out. That, if they get that back up to its normal level, that will really help them. If they can start making some threes, we'll be in good shape. Timeout by Gran Canaria. Obviously, Coach Maldonado didn't like what he was seeing there early in this fourth quarter, and it has been about Rytas making a little bit of a run here, and these two free throws to maintain that momentum are going to be so important. And Mindaugas Lukauskas, who after last week of 23 points and great percentages in the game at home, has struggled from the perimeter all night. And these two free throws, you got to hope, if you're a Rytas fan watching this game, get one of your best players going.
Yeah, well, he's 1 for 7 from the field so far tonight. That's a talk about contrast. He's not going to get 20 points and putting up numbers like that. Perfect at the foul line, though. If he can start making free throws, you get him going, he gets a 10-12 point quarter. He could get back in it.
Well, he misses the second of the free throws. He just can't. If you're in a hole, get yourself out of it, make your free throws. But here's Mario Fernandez with the entry pass, finds Moncasa. Jim Moran back in the game, finds English. Well, if that's the shot, maybe the coach has said, let's slow down a little bit, guys. Let's take some time off this clock. Moran for the three, off the flare on the screen. Defensive rebound.
They still end up with the three-point shot. Okay, slow it down. Carl, don't shoot every time you touch it. But don't give me another three-point shot. I mean, let's get the ball inside.
Now, Zavakis thought about the three, but more importantly, got it to this man. Edson looking to pass.
Oh, the big fella not doing what he's supposed to, which is just take the layup. Edson gives you the ball, you shoot it.
Now, Lukauskas is going to have to shoot this one. Turnover, and really, they turned a great situation with Chuck Eaton 3-4 feet from the basket into a turnover.
Yeah, but I mean, Mark, you know, I always complain about this. Guys passing on the run, and Edson, he palms the ball, swung it out wide. Okay, yes, he can make the layup, but he's got no other option but to throw the pass off. And Anisimovas wasn't ready, didn't make the play. They should just give him the ball back down. I mean, it's not a good option for them. They've got to get good shots out of the offense, not out of one-on-one situations. This isn't a good shot.
This 9. Oh, interesting tip, alley-oop almost, we can call that, or an assist.
So. We'll take the two.
We'll take the two as Pravica shot the ball, and Anisimovas decided to take matters into his own hand, and for the first time in an eternity, we've got a single-digit lead, and another missed perimeter shot. Well, this is becoming interesting now. Still 6:20 to go. This could make it 6, or, well, would be 6 if Eaton makes the 3. 6-point game. Chuck Eaton, great decision by Lukauskas on the end of the break. And Maldonado's not looking as comfortable as he was a little while ago. And Rytas from nowhere back in the game, 6 down. And Savan caught with the ball. Oh, he almost turns the ball over. 76-70 points. Rytas with momentum. back in the ball game.
Back in the ball game, Mark, and more importantly, Coach Maldonado already called his time out to settle his troops and get them back in the swing of things. That hasn't worked, so he's gone back. This is the 5. He's saying, right, these are the guys who are going to win this game for me down the stretch. Sits down Savani, changes the backcourt. Let's see if it has the impact. He's got to stop this run by Rytas.
Well, he stops the run, but the man who never gets outworked and outworks everyone else, Joel Freeland on the offensive boards. Wow, you can never have enough people that work as hard as Joel Freeland. Great work on the offensive boards. Lukaukis passes up the open shot. He was nailing those last week. Nice pass to the inside, offensive foul. I'd like to see that one again, but the referee was right on top of it, so you've got to go with the official. And Ansimovas with the offensive foul on Moncasa. Good effort by the 21, 22-year-old.
Well,
he ends up.
Watch defense Freeland there. Is it an offensive foul? Yeah, maybe. But look at this. Moncasa comes in and says, I don't care. I'll block it anyway. Get that weak stuff out of there, big boy.
It's Sanders finds Freeland under the basket. Mishandled. Chance for Lukaukis to keep that Rytas momentum going. He's triple teamed, almost a turnover.
Got to get the ball in Edson's hands. He's the guy who's made all the right decisions for this team.
Oh, and Ansimovas pass. Ansimovas goes to the baseline. Big man should score. Does. That's all you have to do when you're that size. Just be solid, get 2 feet from the basket and score. 6-point game. 5 minutes to go. Well, what we hoped for, we're getting
here.
Mark,
I said I wasn't going to write them off, and sure enough, here come the triple. Great back
pass and an excellent 2. Tremendous execution, Carl English.
And who made the pass? Well, my player of the game today has been Joel Freeland. Outstanding performance, but that then lovely little dump-off pass.
Here's Zavakis.
Oh, chance for a backdoor cut as well.
Strokes the 3. We've got an off-fair. We've got a defensive push.
Yeah,
Lukaukis
didn't push him. You did push him, young man. But Zavakis, the same backdoor play that Carl English just scored on at the other end, Rytas could have had right back at you, and Zavakis turned it down and said, no, let me shoot the glory shot. Great job here by the big fella.
Yes, absolutely. Ansimovas, the 24-year-old, 7'3", big man. And they replace him. They've gone a bit quicker now. They've gone very mobile. Petrovikas is back in the game. Milisajevic back in the game. So they've got the people now who can get the ball in the hands of the shooters. Here's Edson. Beautiful pass. Petrovikas, all about Chuck Edson. Read the jump out and did a great job.
And Mark, that's where the substitution comes from. You see that in Ansimovas, who's done a good job, but Petrovikas can operate that pick and roll with Chuck Edson. Freeland jumps out. Good job, good hedge. No rotation. Petrovikas, easy 2 points.
It's a 6-point margin. We've got a foul. And, you know, it's whether it was or whether it wasn't. Petrovikas. But it was a foul, and the ball, and they'd run a little pick and roll. They hadn't got anything off it, and you know, English is on the dribble. He's not in a great position, and the foul by Petrovikas.
But Mark, momentum is with Rytas, so you've got to expect that if you're Gran Canaria. Yep. You've got to have somebody that can marshal the troops, control the flow, and get us the scoreboard turning over for us.
English kicks. Norris on the penetration, knocks down the good 2. It's all about decisions under pressure, and Gran Canaria have consolidated. They've brought back in their best lineup on the night, definitely the best lineup on the night, and they're getting it back to getting those better shots. Zavakis looks high-low, is not there. Milisajevic.
He's got to keep his dribble there and keep
absolutely.
Let's do something.
Penetration, and he's fouled. And I have to go back to the call that really we got a little bit animated about. That was nowhere near as bad as the one they missed as he was going to the basket. But Marcus Norris picks up the foul. Milisajevic trying to turn the corner. And
that was actually
all ball. Referee called that from as he was looking through Milisajevic.
He called that before. That was an assumption.
Milisajevic, good from the free throw line. The veteran Serbian, 32 years old now, Branko Milisajevic. Been around Europe for a while. He's been in this situation a lot. 2 from 2 from the line, gets his team moving, keeps them within touching distance of the home team. It's back to a 6-point game.
Just applying a bit of pressure here. Now the Gran Canaria team, look, the hesitance there. No offensive set now. It's one-on-one basketball.
English would be surprised now. He's just going to try and get himself a shot. Gets into the lane. Nice pass.
Great execution on that clear-out play there. That was drawn up, although it's not the shot I would go for. They were so in the flow the first 3 quarters of this game. Now it's clear-out one-on-one and drop-off.
Nice pass. We've seen some great pass and reads here from both teams.
Great pick and rolls by Rytas. They've operated that all night. Coach Maldonado, he's upset and frustrated, but that, you know, this game's not over. I keep saying it over again. I mean, they could still get back in. One stop, Edson 3.
They've got to guard their man one-on-one here. They've got to stop being broken down. They've got to just guard him and say, you've got to beat me. They just got too deep. And I don't know why Savage has got his heads in. I saw the reach, and I thought there was a foul, and I thought they were going to let it go, but they've got to guard their man one-on-one here. They've got to contain the guy. They're not as hot as they were in the first half from the three-point line, so there's no excuse for getting beat as easy as that. No,
there isn't. Well, you know, fatigue kicks in. You've got to play on your toes. Don't forget, Mark, this is 38 minutes into a 40-minute game. It's a long. It's not like you're fresh and just in the warm-up here. But it's funny how guys that, like Augustine, the first half, we were talking about how great and the impact he had. Very quiet in the second half. You know, the Gran Canaria, as I said, you see the frailties in this team. They're being exposed in the fourth quarter. You can see that Rytas, even if they lose this game, they're going to go heads held hard. They'll be confident of being able to beat Gran Canaria at home by more than 6 points.
Right, so an 8-point game. Milicevic with the basketball. They've just got to keep doing what they were doing. 2 minutes to go. They've got to give themselves a chance to win this now. Oh, what an awful pass.
Yeah, Milicevic got to get the ball. Got aggressive to the basket.
Long Milicevic, great play, and he was fouled on the offensive boards. Well, hats off to him. He wasn't great what he did, but he stayed in the game, didn't lose his focus, and he rebounded hard from the guard spot. And I think that Gran Canaria are in the bonus situation here with a foul count. So Rytas will go to the free throw line with a chance to get back to 6 with the clock stopped.
That's the whole point. That's where you try to draw the fouls. Get me on the foul line. I can score without running any seconds, any precious seconds off that ticker.
Well, Maldonado probably wasn't thinking he was going to be in an end-game situation, but he is now as Milicevic makes 2. Freeland thought he had a chance to knock that away. And here is Marcus Norris. Needs all those 34 years of experience now to see his team home. Augustine in the post. Hasn't seen the ball for a long time. No, guarded by Savakis.
He's not going to do anything against his zone. They've got to get the ball moving here.
Norris puts it on the floor. Pulls up. Sure. Go. Hometown ring. The ring, the crowd, the hometown, everybody worked to get that one to drop. 9-point margin. Milicevic gets fouled, but not called. They're going to call a travel, or no, they're going to call a foul thing. And, wow, I was at one point there, they'd missed a foul. I thought they were going to call a travel.
I thought they missed a foul. He tried to call the travel. He did travel, but it's after he got fouled.
Well, I know they made the big shot. Marcus Norris there just, wow.
Well, that's that
ring that ring helped him. They talk about the cops at Liverpool sucking the ball in. That hometown crowd were forcing that one home.
I'll tell you, that ball there knew what was good for it. The good thing for it is get in the basket.
Yeah, if you want to be used again and not just destroyed by the crowd, you better drop. And well, there's some free throw shooting that most teams would be pretty pleased with, 86 and 82%. The 2-point shoots again, and that's really just that margin now is 67 to 58%. They've kept them, and that's been one of the impressive things in this fourth quarter. Gran Canaria, 3 wasn't dropping. They made some backdoor cuts, and until Norris took that 3, had done well at trying to go to the basket.
Yeah, both teams have executed particularly well on offense throughout the game. Rytas picked up in this fourth quarter with smart basketball overall. I wouldn't necessarily, it's not been offensive firepower. They've made some smart plays, but you're right. Gran Canaria really have done the right thing at the right time to just keep that little cushion. 9 points, just enough to feel confident.
Just before the teams come out at the end of this timeout, don't forget, if you want any news on basketball or in fact any other sport, The eurosport.yahoo.co.uk website is one of the most up-to-date websites on any sport that you can actually look. So you need to know anything about any of the action from any of the groups in the Europe Cup or in the EuroLeague. Get on that website, eurosport.yahoo.co.uk, and find out what's going on in the world of sport. And Milicevic on the free throw line misses the front end of the two shots. Well, there's not. I probably would have. He would be one of the guys you'd pick to shoot your throws if the game depended on it. Makes the second 8-point game.
Free throws and layups. Free throws down the stretch, layups in the second and third quarter. That's really hurt.
There's the trapping defense. Good job. English sliced to the middle there to relieve that pressure. Just over a minute to go. They desperately need a stop, and it's Edson. That man, Chuck Edson. Easy two for Lukaukis. Gets it to 6.
Wow,
just over a minute to go. Extended the defense. Man in the middle is James Augustine. English, I thought, was going to shoot that for a second. Oh, it's a turnover.
He so desperately wanted to shoot that one, Mark. He threw it away, and you've got to ask yourself,
what is going on? Maldonado's asking for the fact that a Rytas player touched the ball. I didn't see that. And it will be.
But even if he did, he didn't have control of the ball.
That'll be so. They've given the ball back to Gran Canaria. Well, I didn't see the deflection, but obviously Coach Maldonado did. There's the deflection by Chuck Edson.
Talk about get out of jail.
Well, there's still time here. Only 6 points. Need a stop and a score, and then right in it. Norris wide open in the corner. Is English for 3 and the game if he makes it, and there's the game. 9-point game. Carl English, they've led this game and run away with this game by shooting shot, and they open up that 9-point lead. Zavakis for 3. He's not really the guy out of that shoot it, but that should be the game. But just over 20 seconds as Norris just about gets it over the halfway line. 92-83, and that's what this game has been about. A fingertip, the margin of between the chance of Rytas to get back in it. The difference in that is just the fingertips of Chuck Edson. Penetration by English, makes the 2, just on the buzzer. The last 5 points, 11-point margin. Carl English, that'll be an important 2 if they make them. Don't know if those 2 are going to count. We'll have to wait for confirmation on that, but those will be important points in the margin when these 2 teams meet again. But the result of that is that every team that's played at home in this group now has won. So we have 4 teams on a 1-on-1 record. Gran Canaria with, for most of that game, a great exhibition of get it down the floor and shoot the ball. They win that 94-83. Gran Canaria join the teams on 1-on-1 in that group and have really posted a message that they could be one of the teams that has a real chance of being in there at the death of this competition. Great performance by Freeland, great performance by Gran Canaria. They win 94-83. Martin, how good was that Gran Canaria performance, and what does it tell us about it?
Well, it tells you that they're very tough to beat at home. Rytas, great confidence boost down the stretch, realized that the game's never over. They're not going to change the way they play. So these are 2 of the better teams in the Eurocup we've seen. And we've got a great group to be focused on these first 2 weeks. This group will be fascinating to see, because top 2 get through. Mariupol, we know, are tough at home. Asvel are proved to be tough at home. All 4 teams in this group looks like they want to sweep at home.
Wow, it's been another great night of Eurocup basketball here on Eurosport 2. We'll be back next week with another 2 games in the Eurocup. I'm Mark Clark, Martin Hensman with me tonight, and we've seen a great game. I hope you've enjoyed it. Goodbye.